Everything you believe about building wealth is upside down. You think the climb gets harder as the numbers get bigger. You imagine saving $1 million is 1,000 times harder than saving $1,000. It makes logical sense, but it is completely wrong. The brutal truth is that saving your first $1,000 is the hardest money you will ever accumulate. After that, everything changes. The mountain flips. Gravity starts working for you instead of against you. The same forces that made that first thousand feel impossible start dragging money into your accounts almost automatically. I know this sounds backwards. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why it is true and how to use this knowledge to shortcut your way to wealth. I remember staring at my bank account years ago, wondering if I would ever escape the cycle. Every time I saved a few $100s, something would happen. Car repair, medical bill, emergency expense. Back to zero. Start again. The universe seemed determined to keep me broke. That first $1,000 felt like climbing Everest in flip-flops during a blizzard while carrying a refrigerator on my back. Then I finally broke through. And everything shifted. The next 5,000 came faster. The next 10,000 faster still. By the time I reached 50,000, the money seemed to accumulate on its own. Not because I earned dramatically more. Not because I discovered some secret investment, because the fundamental nature of wealth building had inverted once I crossed that initial threshold. This is not motivation. This is mathematics combined with psychology combined with momentum. And once you understand it, you will never see money the same way again. Hit subscribe and smash that like button, because what I am about to share took me years to fully understand, and it could compress your wealth building timeline by decades. Let me explain why that first $1,000 fights you with everything it has. When you have zero savings, every single dollar faces maximum resistance. There is no cushion. There is no buffer. There is no margin for error. Life does not care that you are trying to build an emergency fund. Emergencies arrive whether you are ready or not. The average American faces multiple unexpected expenses annually: car breakdowns, home repairs, medical costs, family emergencies. When you have no savings, these expenses go on credit cards. Then you are not just failing to save, you are actively going backwards. Interest compounds against you. The hole gets deeper with every passing month. This is the brutal starting position. You are not climbing from zero. You are climbing from below zero while the ground keeps trying to swallow you. Beyond the mathematical reality, there is psychological warfare happening inside your own mind. You have no proof that saving works for someone like you. Every attempt has failed before. Your brain has cataloged those failures and constructed a narrative. Saving money is something other people do. People with higher incomes, people with fewer responsibilities, people with better luck. This narrative is poison, but it feels like truth because your experience seems to confirm it. Breaking through that first $1,000 is not just a financial achievement. It is the destruction of a limiting belief that has been reinforced every time you tried and failed. The third force fighting against you is your environment. If everyone around you lives paycheck to paycheck, that becomes your normal. If your friends spend every dollar they earn, you feel strange saving yours. If your family never modeled wealth building, you have no template to follow. You are trying to behave differently than everyone in your orbit. Social gravity pulls you back toward the norm constantly. Now let me show you why everything inverts once you break through that $1,000 barrier. The first force that flips is psychological momentum. That first $1,000 is proof, tangible, undeniable proof, that you can do this. Every limiting belief about your ability to save has been shattered. You are no longer someone who cannot save money. You are someone who has saved money. This identity shift is worth more than the $1,000 sitting in your account. When you hit 500 and face the temptation to spend, you now have evidence that pushing through is possible. You have done it before. Your brain updates its model of who you are and what you are capable of. This makes the next 1,000 dramatically easier than the first, and the 1,000 after that easier still. The second force that flips is mathematical momentum through the power of compound growth. At $0, compound interest does nothing for you. There is nothing to compound. But once you have capital, the math starts working in your favor. $1,000 invested at 10% average annual returns grows to $1,100 in year one. You gained $100 by doing nothing. That might seem small, but it represents a profound shift. Money is now making money for you. You are being paid to have savings. As the numbers grow, this effect accelerates dramatically. $100,000 at the same 10% return generates $10,000 in a single year. That is $10,000 you did not work for. $10,000 that arrived because you already had money. The same force that made the first 1,000 brutal now makes the next 100,000 feel almost automatic. The third force that flips is optionality. When you have zero savings, every financial decision is constrained. You cannot invest because you have nothing to invest. You cannot take risks because one bad outcome means disaster. You cannot negotiate hard for salary because you cannot afford to lose your job. You have no leverage anywhere in your life. $1,000 changes this. 5,000 changes it more. 50,000 changes it dramatically. You can now negotiate from strength. You can take calculated risks. You can invest in opportunities. You can walk away from bad situations. Each dollar of savings purchases freedom and flexibility that generates returns beyond the dollar itself. The fourth force that flips is behavioral automation. Saving that first 1,000 requires constant conscious effort. Every purchase must be evaluated. Every temptation must be resisted deliberately. Willpower drains daily. It is exhausting. But humans are adaptation machines. What starts as difficult becomes habitual. What starts as habitual becomes automatic. By the time you have saved $5,000 or $10,000, the behaviors that felt impossible have become your default programming. You do not have to try to save. Saving is just what you do. The effort required drops to nearly zero while the results continue compounding. Let me give you the mathematical proof of why the next 100,000 is genuinely easier than the first 1,000. Assume you can save $500 per month. Reaching that first 1,000 takes 2 months of perfect execution, 2 months of resisting every temptation, 2 months of nothing going wrong, 2 months of behavioral discipline with zero proof that it will pay off. Psychologically, those 2 months might feel like 2 years. Now let us track the journey to 100,000 at the same 500 monthly contribution invested at 10% average annual returns. After year 1, you have contributed $6,000. With compound growth, you have approximately $6,300. You are 6% of the way to your goal. After year 3, you have contributed $18,000. With compound growth, you have approximately $21,000. Compound interest has gifted you $3,000. After year 5, you have contributed $30,000. Your balance is approximately $39,000. $9,000 appeared from nowhere. After year 7, you have contributed $42,000. Your balance is approximately $62,000. $20,000 of your wealth was created by compound growth alone. After year 8.5, you cross $100,000. You contributed approximately $51,000. Compound growth contributed $49,000. Nearly half of your $100,000 required zero effort from you. Compare the psychological experience. That first 1,000 required 100% effort and zero help from compound growth. That last 10,000 before hitting 100,000 required minimal effort while compound growth did nearly half the work. The mountain has completely inverted. This is why wealthy people say the first million is the hardest. It is not humble bragging. It is mathematical reality. Each dollar is easier than the last because the forces working in your favor grow stronger with every dollar accumulated. Now let me show you how to break through that brutal first 1,000 as quickly as possible. Strategy 1 is treating it as a war requiring complete temporary focus. Do not try to balance building your first 1,000 with lifestyle maintenance. Declare war on zero. Cut everything possible temporarily. Sell items you do not need. Take extra shifts. Eliminate all non-essential spending. Sprint to 1,000 with maximum intensity. This approach works because it minimizes the time you spend in the danger zone where any emergency resets you to zero. 2 months of intense sacrifice beats 12 months of moderate effort when you have no cushion protecting your progress. Strategy 2 is making your savings invisible immediately. Open a separate savings account at a different bank than your checking. Set up automatic transfers the day you get paid. The money should vanish from your accessible accounts before you can consider spending it. When savings require active decisions, you will find reasons to skip contributions. When savings happen automatically, you adapt your spending to whatever remains. Automation removes willpower from the equation during the phase when willpower is most depleted. Strategy 3 is protecting your progress ruthlessly. Define what constitutes a genuine emergency worthy of touching your savings. Car repairs that prevent you from working qualify. A sale on something you want does not qualify. A friend's birthday dinner does not qualify. Be ruthless about this definition because your brain will manufacture emergencies to justify spending. Consider your savings account locked until you reach your target. Pretend withdrawal requires driving to a physical branch and explaining why you need the money to a judgmental banker. Create friction between impulse and action. Strategy 4 is making your first 1,000 feel real and significant. Track your progress visibly. A chart on your wall. An app on your phone. A spreadsheet you update weekly. Watching the number grow creates positive reinforcement that builds motivation. Celebrate milestones meaningfully but inexpensively. $250 saved deserves acknowledgement. $500 deserves acknowledgement. These celebrations reinforce the identity shift happening inside you. You are becoming a saver. That identity will be worth hundreds of thousands over your lifetime. Strategy 5 is controlling your environment during this critical phase. Tell supportive friends about your goal so they can encourage you. Avoid friends who pressure you to spend during this period. Unfollow social media accounts that trigger spending urges. Remove saved payment information from shopping websites. Make spending difficult and saving easy. Your environment shapes behavior more than willpower ever can. Design an environment that makes success automatic and failure difficult. Let me share what happens psychologically once you break through that first 1,000. Your relationship with money transforms fundamentally. Before the breakthrough, money was something that happened to you. It arrived and departed based on forces beyond your control. You were a passenger in your own financial life. After the breakthrough, you become the driver. You proved that your choices determine your outcomes. You demonstrated control over something that previously controlled you. This shift in agency changes everything about how you approach financial decisions. Fear of investing disappears because you now have capital to invest. Curiosity about wealth building increases because it now applies to your life. Financial content that previously felt irrelevant becomes fascinating because you are now part of the game. You also develop what I call financial vision. When you had zero savings, the future was financially invisible. You could not imagine wealth because you had no experience of accumulation. Now you have proof that numbers can grow. You can project forward and see where your trajectory leads. The future becomes real and worth working toward. The people around you start treating you differently as well. Money stress affects relationships in countless subtle ways. As that stress decreases, your interactions improve. You become someone with options rather than someone desperate. This changes how you negotiate at work, how you engage with family, and how you carry yourself through the world. Let me address the objection already forming in your mind. What if your income is genuinely too low? What if there is truly nothing left after bills? What if that first 1,000 is mathematically impossible, not just difficult? I will not pretend that everyone faces equal challenges. Income inequality is real. Systemic barriers exist. Some people are climbing a steeper mountain than others. But I have seen people save their first 1,000 on minimum wage. I have seen single parents working 2 jobs find a way. I have seen people dig out from debt that seemed insurmountable. The pattern is consistent. Those who decide it is possible find ways. Those who decide it is impossible find confirmation. If your current income truly leaves nothing, examine every expense ruthlessly. Housing often offers the biggest opportunity. Moving to a cheaper place or adding roommates can free hundreds monthly. Transportation costs can be slashed by switching to public transit or a cheaper vehicle. Food spending can be cut dramatically through meal planning and cooking. Simultaneously attack income. Develop skills that command higher wages. Apply for better paying positions aggressively. Add income streams through side work. The math becomes easier when you push from both directions. The first 1,000 will still be hard. It might be brutally hard. But it will also be the hardest thousand you ever save. Everything after gets easier. Everything after benefits from forces working with you instead of against you. That first thousand is not really about the money. It is about proving to yourself that you can do this. It is about breaking the pattern of failed attempts. It is about constructing a foundation that supports everything built on top of it. The person who has saved $1,000 is fundamentally different from the person who has saved zero. Not because of the $1,000, because of what saving that thousand required them to become. Every wealthy person you admire crossed this threshold once. Every millionaire remembers when their savings account held 3 digits. Every financially free individual fought through the same resistance you are facing. The mountain was upside down for them too. They climbed it anyway. Now you understand why. Now you see the inversion waiting on the other side. Now you know that the forces working against you will soon work for you. The question is not whether you can save your first thousand. The question is whether you will. If this video gave you the push you needed, subscribe because I create content to help you build real wealth regardless of where you start. Drop a comment telling me where you are on your journey to that first thousand or beyond. Share this with someone still struggling at the base of the mountain. That first thousand is waiting. Everything easier comes after. Go get it. I will see you in the next video.